Guys, this is going to be the last video you'll ever watch that will help you book more meetings and sign more clients. And no, I'm not going to reveal any crazy new tactic or strategy that will help you do that. It's actually something else. And I promise you, if you stick around by the end of this video, you're going to have everything that you need to start signing clients, booking meetings, and growing your business. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. All right, so first, you have to understand your goal. So that's what we're going to talk about at the moment. So if you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter what outreach method, what strategy to use, or what tactic to apply. First, you need to understand your end and get a better understanding of your end destination. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to be using the goal of making an extra 10K a month to your monthly revenue, or from 0 to 10K, doesn't matter. And let that be our goal for now. So what to do with it next? So if you set a goal, so the next step is to be very specific and detailed about what exactly is your goal. Because if you just say, I want to make 10K a month, what does it actually mean? It means nothing until you get very specific and detailed about it. Right, so this means to be super clear on the pricing of your product or service, how many clients you need to get to your goal, how many sales calls you need if you have this certain show up rate and this certain closing rate, how many numbers of book calls you have to have that month to hit your goals, and how many outreaches you have to be doing every single day based on your appointment booking rate to succeed. Right, so we are going to be narrowing down every single action that we possibly can, reverse engineering your goal to see what to do and get the clarity and details on it. So again, let's use the example of making 10K a month. And the analysis I put together when it comes to identifying these things above is when I was working with my coach, my mentor, we put this together a while back. So I'm going to use it based on those numbers that we put in, so you can, take an inspiration from it. And what he told me and what I've learned over the course of my entrepreneurial journey, even when I was running my agency back in the day, is that when we are creating these goals and when we are trying to be specific with these goals, we want to take it from the perspective of worst case scenario. That means that we don't want to, go crazy and put very good numbers like a very high closing rate or very high appointment rate, because that might happen, but it may not. What we want to do instead, we want to be focusing on like the worst case scenario, the worst closing rate we can get. Like, and this example I'm going to show, it's going to be 5%, which is ridiculous, but yeah, the worst closing rate, so there is no room for failure. Right, and maybe this is the mistake you've done before. You maybe plan based on like ideal scenarios, not some like worst case scenarios, something very realistic, or something that is like the minimum you will do. And maybe that was the one reason why you struggle to hit your goals. So I'm going to show you how you can fix that real quick. So for the sake of this example, I'm going to sell a service for $3,000 per month per customer. So that is my pricing. So that's point number one. To hit my goal, I need to sell 3.3 individuals. So let's just make it 3, right? If my worst closing rate is 5%, right? It's ridiculously low. But let's have a worst case scenario. With 80% show up rate on the call, I need to conduct a total of 67 sales calls for that month. And that means that in total, I have to book 83 calls in that 1 month. 83, right? So if my booking rate is 1%, let's just go with that, on my outreach, I have to reach out to 1,920 individuals in a month to actually hit my goal of 10K with the worst closing rate, with the worst show up rate. It's not the worst show up rate, but with the low show up rate, and stuff like that. So that leads us to doing 80 outreaches a day. So as you can see, 80 outreaches, it's pretty much all it takes to hit the goal based on these numbers. You can customize it based on what you currently have. Like, you can customize it based on what your show up rate is at the moment, or your closing rate is at the moment, or what's your booking rate on your appointments. You can personalize it, but as you can see, we have a clear idea of how many outreaches you should be doing every single day, right? So based on what we've done, it doesn't seem so difficult to hit this 10K a month goal, right? Because once you break down a goal and you get a better understanding based on the real math behind it, because this is not based on our emotions or feelings towards this niche or this service, or we are guessing this out of thin air. We're actually using the real mathematics and the real numbers that will help us, that will guide us to our goal, right? And you're going to have a clear idea now of how many outreaches you have to do, what are your numbers, you can stick to it every single day, right? So now you have a clear idea of what to do. So 80 outreaches to hit your 10K a month in 30 days. But the question is that a lot of entrepreneurs then ask is like, how am I going to do? What strategy should I use? So I know that I have to do 80 outreaches, but what am I supposed to do with that? So let's discuss this, and I'm going to give you a secret sauce. And the secret sauce is called there is no right or wrong strategy when it comes to outreach. That literally is not. And when I was running my agency and still my coaching business, I've tried so many strategies, like every strategy you can mention under the sun. I bought almost all the coaching programs, courses, been mentored by a lot of people that are very famous in the space. And also I think I pretty much watched every video on outreach and what's the best way to outreach clients and social media and stuff like that on YouTube. So I came to this realization there is no single good strategy, because we tend to say like this is bad, this is good, but literally there is not good or bad, right? It's what works for your space as a business and what you enjoy to do. And if you pick one, you can master it and be very good at it, if that makes sense. So I want you to let that sink in and read this again, or just listen to what I've said, because there is no right or wrong strategy when it comes to outreach or sales, right? And there are many channels and platforms you can outreach to or run ads to, whatever you're doing for your client acquisition. Doesn't really matter what it is. The point is that there is no the best platform or the best channel that you can outreach on. And to be honest with you, they all work. LinkedIn works, Facebook works, cold email works, SMS marketing works. What else is there? Instagram, Twitter, Discord, you name it. Everything works because there are people out there, even in your space, they're making millions a year, thousands a month, using one channel. Like just on every platform, there is someone making a lot of money from it. So as you can see, it doesn't really matter what you choose. Just choose what works for you and choose based on where your clients hang out. That's all. So this is very common what I'm about to tell you here. Is that when I've been guilty of this, but a lot of entrepreneurs I talk to, they struggle with this a lot. And one day they focus on Facebook. So they pick Facebook as my main platform. I'm going to focus on Facebook, and they send 20 messages, and then they say it's not working. I'm not booking any meetings, I'm not getting any replies, right? And then they go to Instagram, because later that day, where they were, procrastinating on outreach, they were scrolling on YouTube and they found from this guru or this influencer that, try outreach. That's like a very good thing right now for SMMA or for coaching businesses. Just do outreach on Instagram. So they go on Instagram, they send 20 more messages on Instagram, but nothing happens. And then the next day, or a couple of days after, they get a positive reply from the outreach they've done a couple of days ago on Facebook. So they get one positive reply, like someone's interested in hearing them out, or someone replied to their message. And they go back to Facebook because, oh my God, this is working. Facebook is amazing. I'm going to stick to Facebook. And they continue doing outreach and they're stuck again, right? And then it happens again, no replies. So they say like Facebook is bad. I'm going to try LinkedIn. As you can see, I'm not going to go like crazy on this, but as you can see, this is the loop. And I was guilty of falling into that loop. And maybe you are at the moment, like you're switching and you're trying this one day and you're trying that one day. You say to yourself, this is not working. This is BS and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, what actually will help you finally see success is if you just stick to one thing. Maybe not like necessarily to one platform only, but just pick 1 to 2 platforms and just stick with them. And use one strategy for booking your meetings in your niche and getting clients. That's all it takes, to be honest with you. Focus. That's what I've learned. And once I apply this, all of a sudden spike of meetings and clients, because when I started my agency, I was doing Instagram, I was doing cold email, I was doing LinkedIn, and I was switching back and forth, and then I decided I'm going to just stick to cold email, and all of a sudden I found myself booking meetings every single day, like 1 to 3 meetings a day, because I stick to it, and I became master of that one platform, right? And I've used one strategy. So that's something I want to recommend you to do as well, because it is a game changer, to be honest with you. So yeah, if you already have access to a coaching program or a mentor or someone that gave you one strategy to use, block out the noise on everything else. Stop listening to multiple people on YouTube, unsubscribe to their channel, and just listen to one coach, one mentor, and follow one method, right, for the next 3 to 6 months. That's all you gotta do, to be honest with you. And now we've solved the problem of how many outages you have to do and what to focus on. So what's your vision? And also we solved the issue of how, because as I told you, just pick one method that works and just follow it. That's it. There is no secret sauce to it. But it doesn't matter how effective the strategy is or how many outages if you send, it doesn't matter how effective the strategy is, or the fact that you now have a plan to execute on. If you can't show up to your work, if you cannot be focused and consistent every single day, nothing is gonna work. That's just how it is, because if you don't put in work every single day, you're not going to grow. Your business is not going to grow. So it doesn't matter if you have the best strategy in the world, right? So that leads me to the part 2 of this training, and that's optimizing yourself. So first we looked at the business, your numbers, what to do, and now we have to look at the engine of the car, which is you, right? And first we need to dial in the consistency and overall discipline. So you need to learn how to show up consistently even when you don't feel like it every single day, and do the work anyway. And that's how people that you see online made their fortune, and that's how they became successful, because they were consistent with their work and focused every single day for a long period of time. And one way to create a ruthless discipline is to simply create powerful and strong habits and systems, routines that would serve you and make your behavior automated, so you don't really have to think about it, right? And to be honest with you, this is a very large discussion when it comes to discipline, but I've made a lot of videos on YouTube. You can also find some on my free course I've made on, how you can scale to a 30K a month as a coach and agency owner by optimizing your mind and body. And I talk a lot about discipline there, because discipline is not just about optimizing your environment, becoming, having routines and systems, but also a lot about your identity. So I will leave this for another video, but if you're interested in checking out more about discipline, in the description you're going to find links to some of my YouTube videos I've made on consistency and discipline. So secondly, we want to learn how to focus. So without focus, you're being constantly distracted and you won't get anything done. That's a fact, right? So if you cannot focus for 2 or 3 hours right now every single day and get into that deep workflow, then you cannot expect to focus for 8 hours just like that, because it's like with muscles. You build muscles, you get stronger. You can lift heavy weights, right? The same applies to focus. You cannot just jump from focusing for 1 hour at the moment and you want to focus for 12 hours. It's gonna be very, very difficult for you to do, and you're not gonna get there. So start slow. Start what you have right now and progress slowly, and really perfect the muscle of focus and the skill of focus. And then we have energy and drive, right? So if you don't have enough energy during the day, your sleep is poor and you just can't bring yourself to focus, do the work and all of that, and it's going to be very impossible for you to sit down and get the work done. So being groggy and tired all the time will delay your success and your path to your goals. That's a fact. So you can start improving your sleep. So sleeping better, having a good night routine that will prepare you for good night's sleep. And also you can optimize your environment, cutting the toxicity in your food, in your environment, like people around you, and start simplifying your life. That's really crucial. Cut out the things that are draining your energy, and if you need to, move out or get an office, whatever it takes to have that peace, have that calm every single day while you work, because the environment is huge. Like if you have people screaming from other room every single day, and if you have people that makes you anxious, it's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be very difficult for you to sit down and work with full energy and excitement and drive, right? Also, you can start eating high performance food and meals, exercise, and take supplements that you like in your system to optimize your biochemistry. So if you like drive and you're operating on low willpower every single day, get rid of social media, stop consuming stuff on TikTok and YouTube, and just block out the noise completely, and stop consuming the cheap dopamine that we currently have. Because this is the number one reason why we feel so depressed, anxious, moody, and demotivated to grow our businesses and work on them every single day. And also because we have this overload of receptors with cheap dopamine. So you're going to find dopamine from social media rather than your business. So what you want to do is you want to reverse that. So have a dopamine from working in your business, doing the difficult tasks. And you start doing that by getting rid of the habit of going on social media and consuming cheap dopamine. So again, I've recorded a lot of videos on all of these topics that I mentioned here on focus, drive, energy, sleep. So you can just check them out and go through it one by one and start applying every single thing to actually be a better person, be a more focused person, energetic, driven, and feel every single day like there's nothing that can stop you. And that will ultimately lead you to doing more outreach, the outreaches you need to do, right? And be focused on one strategy at a time. So as you can see, it all pretty much ties together. It's all connected together. You have to have a clear vision of where you're going, but also you have to optimize yourself because you are the engine of the car, right? So please don't forget that. It's very, very important. So after listening to me for 16 minutes at this point, and reading this document along, you should know what to do, how to do it, and how to ensure that you're actually doing it every single day, right? And that means that you cannot say right now that I don't know what to do, I don't know this, I don't know that, because right now I gave you exactly what you need. Of course, there are some bits and pieces as to like how to be better at marketing yourself, how to do outreach and stuff like that, but this is the 80% of it. 80%, 90% what you need to know, right? Because I gave you the roadmap, the step-by-step process, and if you still think you're missing something or whatever, you're just giving yourself excuses and you're doomed to fail if you have this mindset. So yeah, I'm going to record probably another and similar video to this, diving deeper into other areas that are really important when it comes to succeeding in outreach, sales, and business in general. And that's going to probably be energy work, identity, and overall mindset, because that's really, really important. So yeah, if you want to check these out, then hit a subscribe button because I will be releasing them very soon. And if you like this, if this video brought you value, then hit the like button. And thanks so much for watching. That's everything for today's video. I pretty much covered everything I needed to cover. So yeah, thanks so much, and see you in the next one.